Okay. Okay, now there's no sound for me. What happened? Hold on. Hold on. Oh, yeah, I know. Oh, thank you. But yeah, let me get back into the game. Okay, there it is. There we go. It was like, I at least want my sound cues. Alright. Let us continue with Higurashi. There we go. But how's everybody doing today? And as Zerk pointed out, look at all the lovely emotes I have now. I love them. Which, because we can. Hugs for you too. Alright, let us continue. See where we are in this arc. I think this is the point where things are going to start to go downhill. Yes, Marshy Comes are open. And I highly recommend them because I've been a very happy customer for like a year and a half now. Alright, end of chapter 3. Load. Ah, yes, we left off at baseball. Oh, good. Alright then, I'm off. I'm doing alright. I've just had a pretty chill day of chores and errands. But not too bad. Look out for cars! Be back before dinner time! Today was the day of the barbecue party that was the Hinamizawa Fighters' victory celebration. Of course, I, having prepared myself, skipped breakfast in order to stay hungry. Stay hungry, Keiichi. Though, with all the club members coming, it was pretty possible there would be a contest based on how fast or how much you could eat, like one of those hot dog eating contests. And it was already at our usual meeting place. We had arrived a few minutes later. Great! Let's get going! This old man skipped breakfast and is starving to death. I expected nothing less. I too went without breakfast, and now I'm in top physical condition. Wow, you two skipping breakfast is bad for your health! Rena made sure to eat something! Yes, good, Rena. Yeah, you're great, Rena. Breakfast is an important part of the day. It actually is, though. There have been studies about that. I'm sure you'll surpass that unhealthy beyond and get yourself a nice springy body and be all over the dirt. Keiichi, why would you say that? Oh, the dirty magazines. If I get a nice body, then maybe a prince on a white horse will come for Rena too. You know what? Keep dreaming, Rena. Just do your best. Definitely not happening. If you won't take responsibility for them, definitely not happening. If you don't take responsibility for them, Kei-chan, then don't give Rena any silly ideas. She might start eating breakfast 3 times a day and starting tomorrow. Yeah, I could see Rena doing that. Wait, who did this gluttonous princess think was going to come for her? Well, anyway. We're all nice and hungry. Let's go treat ourselves at the big barbecue party. Yeah! The venue for said barbecue would be in the Furude Shrine Grounds, where Rika-chan lived. Big shock. They held events and festivals there, and barbecues too. It was the place that held all sorts of ceremonies in Hinamazawa. Come to think of it, there was supposed to be a big village festival coming up, wasn't there? Oh no, here we go! What, Nagashi or something? Oh no, here we go! The scenery you could see from that high up was fairly superb, and the calm atmosphere particular to shrines was something fairly difficult to find in the city. We left our bicycles at the bottom of the shrine steps and broke into a mad dash up the stairs. When we arrived at the shrine grounds, the Hinamazawa fighters and their fathers had already gathered and begun setting up for the barbecue early. Of course, Satoko and Rika-chan were there as well, because they lived there. When they noticed our arrival, they waved to us. Oh, so you managed to not forget about this! Curses. If you all hadn't come, there would have been that much more meat for me! How truly disappointing it is. You underestimated us, Satoko. Now that we've arrived, you don't think he'll be able to have even one bite of that fabulously marbled beef, do you? Remember when we ate our bento here? You and I have a fatal difference in reach. I'll be overwhelming you once again. What? I cannot allow this to happen by any means. Try and chat all you want. You'll just be watching us fill our mouths with beef. Don't worry, though. We'll give the peppers and onions to you. I'll give Satoko lots and lots of grilled squash, too. When Satoko heard the word squash, her complexion changed color. When she took my overwhelming reach into account, she knew it wasn't just a threat. It could actually happen. I'll go tell the coach. I'll tell him you really love squash. If it's for you, I bet I'll get a whole mountain of specialty squash from all over Japan. Wow, good for you, Satoko. You'll have your pick of the squash. You can have squash from dawn till dusk, 3 meals a day. Rena! Everyone's bullying me! Satoko tried to leap into Rena's chest. Oh no, clearly given another chance, Rena's mock punches would have us piled to the ground. So just before Satoko hit Rena, I grabbed her by the nape of her neck and pulled her back. Superb reaction with only seconds of foresight. At least it was supposed to be. But for Rena, when I caught the leaping, crying Satoko, it looked like I was keeping her to myself. Oh no! Rip Keiichi! Bam! Oh! No, Keiichi-kun! This is Rena's, okay? I'm taking her home! Rena-san! Beat up me and San and Rika-chan like that too! Wow, hold on there! Ugh. Rip! Bam! Okay! Now where could Rika be? There she is! Rena's-san over here! Oh no! Just wait, Satoko-chan, I'll take care of her right away! Then I'm bringing you straight home! Meep! Meep! Satoko, you're mean! Oh! Rika-chan's so cute too! Oh, I'm gonna take her home! Whoa! Rika, serves you right! Satoko laughed in a shrill voice at Rika-chan and Rena's unproductive game of tag while we watched them sprawled out on the ground. Are you alright, Mayabara-san? Sonozaki-san? The coach came over and lent us a hand. Yeah, this is just how we communicate, that's all. Don't mind us. If the way we communicate ends up leaving bruises on my face, I don't want any more to do with it. You never learn, do you? Laughed the coach loudly. It made us start to laugh too. Satoko's laughter, Rika-chan's yelling, and Rina's strange voice were kind of comfortable to hear. The adults here knew that what they were doing, so the barbecue was ready in short order. As the solid oil dripped down onto the plate with a hiss, there was a loud cheer. When the coach brought over a big plate with all the meat on it, we all cheered again. Wow, this meat looks amazing! Coach, you really did splurge on it. I did make a promise. Can you tell how much all of this weighs? It really did cost me a lot. Of course it did. Third-rate meat wouldn't be enough of a reward for everything I did yesterday. Yeah, Satoko-chan is definitely the guest of honor today. Yeah, Satoko was the one who hit that last big home run after all. She might have caught the other guy off guard, like the arcade. Oh, okay, good. That's just the scanner is no longer connected. It's not the internet. Arc flute was long and true. Satoko is pretty athletic. Not bad at all. She could be one of the best of our generation. She doesn't fall behind in the physical ability, even compared to me. Maybe Satoko-chan has a big future in the world of sports. Oh, stop singing my praises. You're making me blush. Munch, munch. Satoko, for whom the excessive praise made her not notice the moderately grilled meat being stolen one after the other, was just far too cute. Hi, Mara-san! This is heavy! Tomita-kun and Okamoto-kun were carrying something over to us. It was a huge barbecue plate. Wow. The barbecue's protagonist has arrived. The plate was chock full of skewers with vegetables and meat on them. Grill burning hot. The grilled, burning hot meat juices made a shh noise as they drizzled off. Gulp. You need a lot of heat for cooking something on a metal skewer, so they had to grill a whole plate at once. Yep, can't have a barbecue without some of these. You can say that again. Can't have a barbecue without some of these. I'll help out, so let's get it over here. Up we go. Wow! Look! It's amazing! Everyone greeted us with a cheer. Each person received a skewer with vegetables and big pieces of meat on it. They also received paper cups filled to the brim with juice. In my right hand were pounds of piping hot barbecue. On the left with a cup of juice that I could chug down. If this didn't make you want to dance, you weren't a man. Well, not, but that's whatever. I can't hold back any longer. I'm gobbling it down. Oh, rip your throat. Gobble, gobble. Not just yet, Kei-chan. We've got a little ceremony first. Can I have your attention, everyone? The coach, with a cup of beer in his hand, mounted the nearby beer cooler on his soapbox. This was supposed to be a victory celebration, after all. Yeah, just things spilling everywhere. We need an opening statement. Damn, I hope it ends soon. For every second that goes by, a little more of the food's freshness goes away. Satoko stomped down on the back of my foot. My word. Men your age are all so greedy. Can you not wait a little bit more elegantly? Hi, Weedy, welcome back. Doing alright, how are you? We're gonna scroll. And we're gonna wave at Weedy. Hi, Weedy. Carrying on. I'm glad to hear that. Aw, thank you, Weedy. Blah, blah, blah. Is everything I'm thinking of really showing on my face? Yes, that's another good wave emote. Okay, is everyone listening? We won a huge game yesterday. It had become a hard battle after that amazing pitcher came in. But thanks to equally reliable saviors on our side, we scored a beautiful turnaround victory. Clap, 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 clap. Actually, wait, I have an emote for this too! Clap, clap, clap. We're clapping. Both my hands were full, so the adults and older brothers gave us a round of applause. Yes, also the sleepy emote. This is to celebrate that victory. As promised, I got a ton of delicious meat for everyone. Eat as much as you want, and use that energy on our next game. Then after a few words of thanks to the fathers and the brothers who helped with the barbecue, he led a toast. Cheers! They say that when toasting, you would normally down the contents of your cup. But we were young. At the toast, all of us immediately began to dig into our skewers. After that, it got really lively, with everyone congratulating one another for the things they did during the game. Like how someone made a great catch, or how awesome someone looked when stealing a base. Of course, they congratulated me too, the savior who appeared to fight against the Koshin pitcher. Well, even what I did was all thanks to Satoko. Satoko did have a plan, but you're the only one who could have won over Kameda like you did, Kei-chan. You did more than enough to deserve praise. By the way, Keiichi-kun, you want to eat cake with You went to eat cake with Kameda-kun after that, didn't you? You looked like you were best friends. Seeds of friendship sprouting between male rivals, something like that? Ahaha. That's sort of... well, is it... how... I violently brushed through Rena's hair as she turned red in the face for some reason at the mention of friendship between males, dispersing her pleasant-seeming ideas. Now then, where's the hero, or rather the heroine, Satoko? Oh, there she is. Satoko was with Rika-chan in the middle of bragging her heart out about the home run yesterday. And her teammates spared no complaint for her, since even though he was going easy on her, the fact that she had hit a throw from a Koshin pitcher was something else. Koshin, Satoko was more loquacious than usual. It seemed she was in a great mood. She was flying so high that I thought for a moment about getting a word in to tease her. But she was the leading actress today, so I decided not to bully her at all. As I watched Satoko going at things as lively as usual under the sun, it struck me that it didn't quite line up with the pleasant time I'd spent with her. But both of those were the real Satoko. I didn't care which it was, her smiling happily or making a big lively fuss of it like this. Just as long as she would keep smiling like this forever. You fool, this is Higurashi and we're getting to the start of the Watnagashi festival. Do you think this will last? She looks like she's having fun. Quite a lot of it. The coach had approached me from behind before I realized it. As he gave such at Satoko from afar, like I had been doing, he addressed me. So I could tell he was talking about her. Doesn't it just cleanse your soul to see Satoko-chan smiling? He smiled, refreshed, searching for the confirmation. I felt a little embarrassed to admit it, so against my better judgment I played it off. Really? I don't think her smile could cleanse so much as a plate. I'm sure Satoko-chan would be mad if she heard that. But that part of her is very cute too. Leaving her cuteness aside, understand him thinking Satoko getting angry or being teased would be funny. Mr. Irie, was it? That's right. Everybody calls me Coach, though. I'd be very happy if you called me Coach as well, Maebara-san. As he said that, Coach Irie smiled, blushing a little. Coach, you seem to like Satoko a lot. I didn't have any real basis for saying that. It was just what I felt to be true. Yes, I do like her. I love her, in fact. No. 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 When she gets older, I'm thinking of asking her to... Nope. Nope. A what? Nope. This guy really says some insane stuff, doesn't he? Thank you for agreeing with me, Keiichi. Nope. After being astonished by this, I hurried to put my mind back in order. Nope. I heard that this coach guy was the kind of person who said crazy things out of nowhere. Nope. She could be as young as 9. Nope. Get out of here with that thought, Irie. According to Mion, if I took everything he said seriously, I physically wouldn't be able to take it. Which, yeah. As long as he is not serious. But, yeah, don't even joke about that, my guy. If I was able to ignore that part of him, he seemed like he'd be a really funny guy, except for all of his problems. What? Thank you for gifting us up to nope, no. See, they agreed. They agreed so much, they're just like, nope. Maebara-san? Did that surprise you? Yeah? Could it be you're going after Satoko-chan yourself? That would bother me, then. I've been going after her for... Excuse me? For decades? She's... Okay, so maybe she's, like... 10? Coach, Satoko hasn't even been alive for much more than a decade, so okay. Maybe she is 11 or 12. But still. Nope! Coach gave a dry grin and laughed, punch him in the face. Was this how I should be doing it? I must somehow master the art of responding to this coach guy. Yes, Keiichi, for your own sanity, please. After that, I received many words of praise for my actions, almost too many. Yeah, let's just carry on from that scene. As that conversation was happening, leaving aside the controversial statements from this coach person who would spout suddenly, I learned this was a very composed, not bad guy by any stretch, but still, nope! I think Satoko deserves more praise for that crazy home run she got. I honestly didn't think she had it in her. Satoko-chan's older brother was, more the quiet bookworm type. She probably inherited the exact opposite skill set. Her brother? Right, he meant Satoshi. One who left Satoko and ran away from home. Satoko's Nini. Satoshi Hojo. Do you not know about him? My guy, I just moved here. Satoko-chan's older brother, I mean. His name is Satoshi Hojo-kun. And he played... What? Hi, Soul! Thank you for the resub! 16 months? I'm pretty sure that's as long as I've been going, which is wild. Thank you so much! And he played with the Hinamizawa Fighters, too! I wanted him to play a lot more, but then he transferred. Huh? I see. So he transferred. Yeah. Maybe that was a little bit more considerate than he ran away. Now that he mentions it, I think it was Rena? I think she said Satoshi transferred too. She did. She said it in the first arc. I didn't know the details of him having run away from home at the time, so I didn't pay much attention to it, but... Only her brother transferred? That's sort of unusual. Hi, Nero! Wait, I gotta do it. I gotta wave at Nero! With my new emote. I gotta wave at Salt, too. I know, right? She did such a good job with these. Isn't it? Everyone having fun was far away, and their cheerful voices distant, because we're getting into the serious conversation. The course of cicadas separated us from them, giving me a sense of distance. At first, I thought my own voice was too soft for even me to hear. But for a really long time, Coach didn't respond to my words. So at this point, I began to wonder if I had said something I shouldn't have. Just when I began to feel impatient, Coach finally spoke. Something unfortunate happened. A few things, actually. After informing me of what he was about to say was a secret, Coach began to talk, a little at a time. It's been 3 years already. Right around this time of year, I think. Satoko-chan's parents were in an accident. An accident? Yes. At a public park they visited while on vacation. They fell from a viewing platform. It was supposed to be just a little time away from the house with the family. They went for a walk on a path through a nature park after it had rained. There was a little viewing platform that looked like it had a good view. That was the stage for which the tragedy was set. Metal fixtures for the viewing platform fence had deteriorated from time, and with the rain they had just gotten, they might have loosened somewhat. Right before Satoko's eyes, both the fence and her parents fell. There was a river some 10 meters below. Water level high due to the rain. Apparently very muddy. And her parents? Coach gave a thin but, what? Melancholic smile that touches Penguin with the lips.
Cheer 500. It's time for the cutest tomato ever to make another appearance. Yes, the sweetest Gin is so cute. So cute in fact, that it almost makes looking at kittens feel second rate. Yes everyone, Gin is the cutest, most wonderful little tomato ever. Cue the keyboard smashing.
Yes! Thank you, Saul! How could kittens ever be second? Hehe. Without saying anything, I knew how unfortunate the accident was, and how Satoko's parents had left on an eternal vacation. Keiichi, please don't phrase it like that. And Satoko is... well... I was so focused on being careful with my words that I lost what I was going to say. Single word. Orphaned. I knew how little consideration it showed, and how much it would hurt Satoko without having to say it aloud. Come to think of it, Satoko lived with Rika-chan. At least that's what I thought I heard from the others. Wait, Rika-chan said her father died from illness too. And her mother soon after. Yes, welcome to the town orphans live together in a little tiny shack. I felt like I heard she was living by herself. Yes, she's living with Furei-san right now. They probably lived many discouraging days without any parents, but they've gotten along by helping each other. Going on living without the protections of parents is very difficult for kids that age, I think. Irie-san, you can probably understand that as well. I only survived because I rely on my parents, so the only reply I could give was a nod. Higurashi-san is particularly beloved by the older people in the village. As long as she's here, she won't want for much. Satoko, however, is a very different story. Come to think of it, you're right. Rika-chan kind of seems like the village mascot sometimes. I don't think she'd have a hard time living here. Rika-chan could just go, meep, just once, and get 2 or 3 coquettes from the vendor after all. I feel like if she asked for help, everyone in the village would. But that only applies to Furude-san in particular. Again, Satoko is a very different story. Satoko-chan doesn't have it the same way. Rika being so spoiled was just an exception. On thinking about it normally, living on your own as a child should be fraught with difficulty. It wasn't then very difficult to imagine how much suffering Satoko had gone through just to live. It wasn't very difficult to imagine. Why I have a problem with some of the spoilers I read about Go and Sotsu. But we'll go into that later when a certain scene happens in a couple arcs down the line. I was really thinking that? No, I was only thinking the words. I couldn't imagine it in the slightest. How was I supposed to imagine it when I saw that annoying smile of hers? There was no way I could. I found out she was living apart from her brother, and I just kind of vaguely thought it was rather unfortunate. I mean, Satoko was smiling so energetically every single day. Was I thinking that her smiling meant she wasn't hurt? That she didn't feel lonely? When she found out my parents were coming home the other night, Satoko said, "Family sitting around the dinner table is the most fun way to enjoy a meal, after all." Those words held a lot more weight now. I've seriously considered adopting her. Don't be worried about it, though. Do not be worried about adopting this child. No wife-husband dream. Huh? Adoption? It's a secret. After warning me, Coach put his index finger into his lips. I've lived a really steady life all these years. I own property and I have credit. But marriage is the one thing I never got around to. By law, obviously, a single individual can't adopt a child. So I can't make Satoko-chan my adopted daughter. Ha ha ha, what a shame. Didn't take long for my plan to get her to... Nope. This guy spouted some crazy stuff. Go jump in a lake, Irie. At first I was only half listening. But midway through I realized how rude that was. This coach person seriously only wished for this one girl, Satoko, to be happy. Nope, he get its adoption rights revoked. That was neither crazy nor was it nonsense. But she does actually, stable adult. He just wanted her to be happy. Those were his true feelings. Satoko-chan's current lifestyle is probably not a very happy one. But you know, I want to make it easy for her, even just a little. Of course I can't do much for her but share my leftover food and do errands that she's not strong enough to do. Yes. You're wrong. Satoko's happy. Huh? Coach was surprised at my having declared that. There's so many people all around her that really want her to be happy. She can't possibly feel otherwise. Except. I spoke with a serious expression, quietly but firmly all the same. It was my approval of his feelings, and my gratitude as Satoko's Nini. Thank you. Still, keep this a secret from Satoko-chan, okay? If she knew I wanted to adopt her, she'd probably get mad and call me Call me a pervert for wanting me to call it. Yes, that is the appropriate reaction, Satoko. Do not deal with this. Ha 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 ha. Go jump in a lake. Cool down. I wonder. Satoko may have been somewhat childish, but she was still able to empathize with people. She'd call him that. I knew it. Maybe as my feelings had gotten across, Coach grinned, satisfied, but he returned his gaze to the hustle and bustle before us. Her parents and her older brother. She lost her family and had no relatives, and was huddled up with Rika-chan, who was in the same situation. Stoka Hojo. It wouldn't be odd for her to look at her life with despair, but she didn't seem to feel that way. She lived energetically with a smile. I want her to keep smiling forever. It's a naive wish, but that was one that he couldn't help hoping for. So, the words that I spoke were the same. What a coincidence. I think the same way. Oh, you too, my Barakun? And that makes us friends. Let's make a promise. Promise? It's a very simple one, Coach said, giving me a grin. That we will never ever make her cry. It's short and to the point. Yeah. I promise too. Coach nodded happily. We exchanged no more words after that. We just sat there comfortably, gazing at Satoko, and everyone else having a good time. She certainly lost family, but there were people watching over her. How reassuring it must have been. There are ups and downs to that statement. Just hypothetically, if you did adopt Satoko, what would you do? That's a tough one. Coach gave a wry smile and then exaggeratedly tilted his head in contemplation. Excuse you. Well, first I would get her to call me master and re-educate her in the ways of a maid. So, oh my god. My guy. Go jump in a lake. Huh? What? How does this guy even pick up the craziest time to say the craziest things? Go jump in a lake, Irie. My Barakun? I haven't said anything yet. What are you talking about? I heard it loud and clear! Oh, that's right. I clearly said that I would... She... No! No! Nope! Nope! Nope. Shion, what are you doing? Amazing. This is an amazing bit of dialogue that I am not reading out loud. That y'all can read this on your own time. My hand shot out and grabbed Shion, smiling and waving, about to leave by the nape of her neck. Hey, wait, right there. Don't just show up and nowhere and start saying crazy stuff. Speaking of saying crazy stuff, I thought the Satoko love talk you were having with the coach was pretty crazy too. I can perform a reenactment of the adoption bit. Want to see? Yeah. You've been hiding ever since then? Hi, Shion. Hey, Chan, you can't even beat my sister. You're 100 years too early to challenge me. This was Shion Sonozaki, the younger of the Sonozaki twins. Though she hadn't a scrap of reserved quality you expect from a little sister. She was a villain no better than her older sister Mion. We met the other day in town, and I dug myself into a hole when I mistook her for me. Okay, yeah, so they're being like, okay, this part of Arc 2 is still canon, where he mistakes her for Mion, and it's like, no, I'm actually Shion, thank you. Unlike Mion, Shion said she was living in Okonomiya, so I thought we'd never see each other again, but to think we actually would. My frankly displeased expression didn't change a bit either. This must have been what people mean when they say something like the water off the duck's back. Shion-san, you came! I was disappointed because I thought you wouldn't make it. Thought you wouldn't make it. Well, I couldn't think of anything else to do, really. I figured I'd come and tease you a little. Coach, why would you need to call Shion to our victory celebration? Because, isn't she like the manager? How did she contribute to our team's win? Huh? Well, you see, I'm actually the manager of the Hinamazawa Fighters. I thought she was connected to the baseball team. The manager? No way! Then why weren't you at the game yesterday? That's because I'm like a ghost manager. I live completely elsewhere. Hee hee. Oh no, I've been booped. I have been booped. Yes, I have been booped. She seemed to think like I'd forgive her if she stuck her tongue out and smiled. Thank you for the lurk, so I'm glad you could make it. She wasn't too sorry at all. The match wasn't nearly as pretty without you there. I won't tell you to come to practices, but couldn't you at least come to the games and root for us like you used to? I'll think about it. Maybe if Kei-chan joins the Hinamazawa Fighters? I can't get into cheering mode when there's no good-looking guys on the team. Huh? Did Shion just smoothly say something absurd? No, she had a reason for saying that, but that won't be revealed till later. Shion! Where did you come from? Suddenly, Mion came running over and latched onto my shoulders and pulled me towards her. Ah! It's Mi-chan's little sister! Hello, Shi-chan! Hi, Rena-san! I'm honored you remembered my name. We only met once. Oh, not at all. Thanks for remembering Rena's name, too. Got the stupid greetings. You're not allowed to solicit Kei-chan. He's the hope of our club. Don't pull him out and put him on a baseball like he's some kind of plant. Mina gave a low growl as she gripped my arm. She really looked like a little girl desperately clinging to her toy. Aw. Slightly possessive Mion. Yep. Keiichi-kun is the star rookie of our club. We could never trade him away. Rena's smile hid a nonchalant bloodthirst. She was walking Shion's way, ready to unleash an ultimate attack if she got within 2 meters of me. Yes, they are very protective of their boy. I felt like this was going to turn into a bloody battle. That's too bad. Leave the negotiations for another time. You don't have the right to negotiate. Coach, why did you call Shion here too? She's a ghost member. She's been slacking off for the last year. I just thought it would be even more fun if Shion-chan was here. Yep, it definitely worked. So that was what he planned all along. Mission accomplished. Hey, Kei-chan, come over here. We're all playing a game. With strings attached, of course. Ji-chan, how about you? The rules are simple and it'll be fun. Should I? I'll just win if I join after all. I don't want to ruin my sister's presidential image. Mion, now irritated, turned around with a single glare. What is it, my sister? Should I join to make this battle a battle of the siblings? For your sake, I don't think we should. But if you want to... Bleh. I won't let you play, Shion. We're leaving you out. Bleh. Well, Mion just avoided a direct confrontation. It seems like the twins were completely incompatible with each other. You won't let her play? I was looking forward to seeing you two face off. I hate Shion. I'm bad against her. Angry Mio dragged me away. Slide. Do your best. I'll be rooting for you. Go for it, Kei-chan. Yay! Shion waved her hand at us, revealing, reveling in bliss, in the bliss of teasing me on. Okay, I was like, wait, there's not an A there, what am I doing? Alright. Club activities had begun, which meant I needed to clear my mind. And I am gonna unshrimp and take a sippy sip. I am health checking myself. Alright. Club shenanigans, let's go. What was today's battle? Today's punishment game. Take anything on. Okay, Keiichi-san. You should prepare yourself. We're going all out today. We got an audience. Great, bring it on. Sudoku or not, I'll crush you all mercilessly. Rana will profit from your battle and wish yourself up a win. And I'll get all the manta rays first and ride them to victory. Oh. Rika-chan is flat like a manta ray. I want to take you home. Okay, everyone. We have a lot of people today, so let's play something easy and simple. Today's game is... Oh, okay. Let us continue with this since we're at the halfway point of the chapter. But I will save real quick. Everyone who lost the game dropped out, and we had to help clean up after the barbecue. Oh, thank you, sir. Yeah, I don't think one of the games was supposed to be there. Oof. Ha ha ha. Ah ha 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 ha. Shion laughed more uproariously than anyone I'd ever heard when she saw my loser face. Okay. Was my getting bombed out of the game really that funny? Man, oh man, Kei-chan's face. He was like, how can you still call yourselves human? Ah ha ha ha. Damn it. I had it all worked out when I brought up the scissors. If only Sudoku and Rika-chan hadn't betrayed me! It was going great while we had maintained a united front. But Sudoku had been quicker to betray me than I her. She was just a tiny bit better than me. Ugh. I warned you about trusting Sudoku. Tomita-kun and Okamoto-kun were unanimously wearing I told you faces. Incidentally, those two were victims of Sudoku's traps pretty early on as well. Damn. I was trying to do well enough to make up for you two. And once again, for the showdown, it didn't matter. Maybe this meant I still couldn't match up to the other members yet. You were going to have the lowest rank member of the club play the punishment game, weren't you? Shion remarked as though, forcing me to recall something I tried to forget, even for the moment. Is that right? Come to think of it, when Maibara-san, when you came up with the punishment game with the president, you looked really heated up. What on earth did you decide on? Ugh. Earlier, Mion told me that to get an Angel Mort uniform ready. Does that have anything to do with it? You told me to get the biggest size I could find. Tomita-kun and Okamoto-kun were giving me these complex, indescribable looks, mixing empathy and pity, and the desire to see something scary all at once. All she could do now was laugh. Strangely enough, the more she laughed, the more I felt like it was actually funny. Ugh. I lost! If there is ever a chance to make Keiichi cross-dress, it's gonna happen. He's going to accept his feminine side, so help me. Oh my. Maibara-san, what's the matter? You're smiling, crying, and howling. It's okay, he's just pretending not to like it. He can't hide his excitement for the opportunity to gain valuable experience using the punishment game as an excuse. Right? Ugh. What do you mean, valuable experience? I held my head in my hands in agony. My state of mind could be summoned up with a 3-letter word. It was... sob! Coach gently put his hand on my shoulders. Was he comforting me? Probably not. Maibara-san? In times like this, you must accept hardship. You should imagine that there's a domesticated maid... Irie, no! See? Don't sadistic things some kind of fun... Irie, please go jump in a lake. Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? In the face and indulging in his imagination, still holding on my shoulders, Coach said. Oh, master, and started twirling around like a ballerina. I had to wonder what kind of weird associations he had going on in his head. At the very least, it seemed very different from what was in mine. The first thing that comes to mind when I think of domestication certainly isn't maids. Tomita-kun? Okamoto-kun? Your coach is pretty funny. I'm surprised he can even be a coach. I mean... yeah! Tomita-kun and Okamoto-kun exchanged glances and answered with dry smiles. Then they added that he was a really nice person most of the time, which was something you'd normally say about a person like that. Coach questionable revelations slowed to a stop, and then his expression returned to a clear, calm one, almost making what just happened seem like an illusion. He can switch gears way too fast! Then let us start cleaning up. Maibara-san, you seem quite strong. Could you bring the plates over to the wash basin and clean them? Okay. I shall do that. We'll do a quick save. I hoisted the dirty barbecue plates, each with slimy oil clinging to it, and looking for the wash bins. These are heavy! Where are the wash bins? Over here? Figuring I should make it up before my arms gave out, I headed towards it with a trot. Oh no. A lot of the adults who had been helping out were using the wash basin, so I gave up to look for a different set. I asked them, and they told me there were more right by the assembly hall, so I decided to head that way. Rather than multiple basins, there was just one faucet there. I initially thought it would be too small to wash the big plates, and it would probably still be faster than waiting for a faucet and open up the back. Are you just going to use a hose? I turned the faucet on, and the water much nicer looking, than it gushed forth. Okay, interesting sentence there. I put a plate under the faucet and scrubbed it with my hand to try to rub it clean. It didn't go very well. Did you use soap? Here you go. A sponge and dish. Thank you, Shion. You can't cook. You can't do the dishes. Keiichi learned some life skills. You can't wash them with just water. It was Shion. She threw a brand new sponge and a container filled with cleaner to me. Oh, thanks. You should have just put them by the basin and left them for the grown-ups. You're always doing the right thing. I get the feeling that wasn't quite a compliment. I answered her with a forced smile. I was surprised to learn you're the manager of the Hinamazawa fighters. I thought you didn't do stuff like that because it's too much of a bother. Yes, it is quite a bother. That's why I've stopped showing up entirely. That's not the only reason. Didn't Coach say I wanted you to come back? Should pay a visit once in a while. If I feel like it, I guess. She made it sound like the end of the world would happen before she felt like it. Whoops. I couldn't keep washing the dishes and preoccupied with conversation, so I decided then you might be able to do it, but somehow I think the faucet out in the country probably wouldn't have water pressure. So I decided to take my task seriously. She had neither offered to help nor got in my way. She was just quietly watching the water flowing from the faucet. Oh, right, I heard something. You were the star player in yesterday's game, weren't you? Satoka hit a home run, so I think she was the real star player. I didn't know she had those kind of reflexes. That surprised me. She's totally different from Satoshi-kun. There's not much doubt that all the athletic ability in the family went to her. Shion smiled as she spoke, her eyes looking at something far away, betraying her reminiscence. Satoshi-kun. Satoko Hojo's older brother. You know, Satoshi Hojo-kun? Oh, right. You moved here this year, didn't you, Kei-chan? You wouldn't have ever met him. I was a little surprised that Shion knew about Satoshi. Never met him, but I know a little. After their parents passed away, he transferred to a different school, right? I avoided saying that he ran away from home and used the slightly more vague words that everyone else did. Transferred? Who said anything like that? I hadn't yet realized that Shion's tones had changed slightly. Well, I mean, who was it then? Yeah, I heard it from someone. That he transferred. Who? You said that because you asked someone, right? Who did I ask? I don't really remember. Even so, he transferred, so that's it, isn't it? Not like there's a problem with it. There is one. Does that mean there's a record of his transfer to another school? And that someone saw it? Or heard about it? Around that time, not only had I noticed how awfully caught up on this that Shion was, but also how startlingly dangerous her eyes began to look. Shion? What's up? You look really serious. With that, Shion seemed to realize the expression she was making. She took a deep breath and pretended to fix her hair and went back to her composed expression from before. I'm sorry, but Kei-chan, you don't know much about Satoshi-kun, so please don't say that he transferred or anything like that. I'm serious. Please. I realized I must have said something I shouldn't have. But I wasn't immediately sure what I should apologize for, so I just said one safe word for now. Sorry. Yeah. Basically, there are very different implications between he transferred, he ran away, and he disappeared. Those are the three possibilities of what happened to Satoshi Hojo. I just sort of heard he transferred and believed it. Was it actually something else? I don't know, we're in Hinamazawa. It was, of course. Predicated by his parents, he had left his sister and run away. But I wanted to try avoid using the words run away, so I pretended not to know. On seeing my flustered reply, Shion realized she was intimidating me and lowered her voice. I'm sorry. I'm not blaming you or anything, Kei-chan. I was being a little harsh. I apologize. I didn't really mind. That was a fib. I was actually a little scared, even. Was there something wrong with saying he ran away? Was there some sort of misunderstanding in saying that he transferred? But before I could ask her, she turned on her heel to leave. Hey, Shion? Right, good luck with those. Looks like your plate is last. That's the last one you need to wash. Final remark reminded me of the dishes I had so easily forgotten. So immersed in conversation that it got pretty late, and I had washed all of one dish. I turned the faucet again to get the water flowing faster. Whoosh! I violently scrubbed the plate. When I turned back around, Shion was no longer there. By the time I'd finished washing the plates, most of the other things had been cleaned up. The air had cooled off before I'd realized it, and as the heat that had stuck with us all day dispersed, a nice breeze started to blow. Okay, everyone, can I have your attention? Oh god, what are you going to say this time? Coach got everyone together to make his closing statements. And with that, another fun day drew to its close. In the end, Mion ended the game with a magnificent victory. His token Rika-chan, who had labored so hard to betray me, had fallen into a huge trap afterwards, leaving them frustrated about more than a few things. People who betray others will one day be betrayed themselves. Never been more true, huh? You're not the only one I want to hear that from, Keiichi-san. Rana didn't fall for anyone's tricks. That's how I got second. Rana doesn't buy into lies very easily. She has a sharp wit. I'm surprised. She seemed like she would fall for the first lie to come her way. I keep saying this, but Rana is smarter than she looks. Funny you would say that, Kei-chan. You desired to prey upon others right away, and you became the prey instead. Make sure you don't fall for those dumb schemes that promise higher returns the more friends you rope in, okay? Do not fall for pyramid schemes, Keiichi Mayabara. Yeah, I'll try harder. Stop. Even good friends will lay traps mercilessly and betray everyone in sight once they get into a serious enough game, or there's money involved. But despite that, once it's all over, they can feel refreshed and laugh together. Reminded me of how we all were such great friends. Anyways, I'm looking forward to Keiichi-san's punishment game. Started at the bottom, now we're here. Haber, can you really implement such a thing? I would think the store manager would have a thing or two to say about it, no? I wonder. Maybe Keiichi-kun will be really cute. Cute! I don't want to see how. I'm on the edge of my seat. I will trip him up and make him wipe the floor. That would be great. Why couldn't I win now of all times? Whatever, I think I'll definitely win today, and that'll make sure to have someone else play the punishment game. I lose. It's the way of the universe, Keiichi. You want fan service from the girls, but no. No, you are the fan service. Is it not enough? The one who doesn't have a character model is the fan service. Do I not believe hard enough in victory? Ugh. Oh, the wailing of the loser tastes like sweet honey. How sad, how sad. Pat. This is how you get stronger, Keiichi-kun. It's like I'm looking at Michan from last year. Michan last year? What? Did she always lose and moan about it in the past? How very interesting. I didn't know our undefeated president, Mion, was once like that. No need to talk about that. Mion hastily covered Reina's mouth. Everyone watching burst out laughing, which is interesting because it's like, okay, if Mion was bad at this last year, then again, I think the club really only is about a year old. I wonder who was better in the beginning. Finally, Rika-chan pulled on Satoko's sleeve. Okay, we should be going soon. Oh yes, we must go shopping for dinner, mustn't we? I wanted to keep talking like this forever. But it was getting late. So we split up with Satoko and Rika-chan deciding we split with Satoko and Rika-chan and decided to get on our way home. Alright, bye! See you tomorrow at school. Everyone waved to each other and split up for a short time between now and tomorrow. Okay, let's go. We began walking down the tall staircase leading from the shrine grounds. As the sun started to set, the afternoon's heat began to disappear, as if it was never there. Just listening to the chorus of the Higurashi was enough to make me forget about how hot it had been today. Come to think of it, it's still June, huh? We didn't have a rainy season at all this year. Like, all of a sudden, it's just summer, you know? Now that I thought about it, she was right. It was June, the season for the long rain, of the hydrangeas and snails. I hadn't seen a real rainy season since transferring here. According to the weather forecast, it's supposed to get more rainy during the first part of the week. They were warning people about heavy showers. Hope it doesn't run into the Watanagashi. That's right. The rainy season's supposed to be rainy. Rena likes all the rain in the rainy season. What? So much rain just makes me depressed. Hey, Kei-chan? I was a little spaced out, so it was late answering Mion. I was thinking back to my conversation with her sister. When I said that Satoshi transferred, Shion clearly got angry. She was mad at me for saying something so careless. I mean, it may have been a vague way of skirting around the fact that he had run away from home, but I didn't think it was so bad that Shion would need to feel mad about it. I wasn't really satisfied with it. I felt like a child completely ignorant of what he was being scolded for. So my thoughts spilled out of my mouth in a very direct fashion. Satoko had a brother, right? Named Satoshi, I think? What? As soon as I said the name Satoshi, Rena and Mion both lost their relaxed, comfortable mood and made strange expressions. Should I have avoided talking about this? That's what they made me think. But I've already said it, so that's that. And I'd be lying if I say I wasn't interested. What happened to Satoshi again? Did he move away? That was such a transparent way of putting it. But in my desire to know everything, I feigned ignorance. Blech. Mion turned around to look to Rena for assistance. Rena looked between us just quietly, then quietly and softly spoke. Wait, did we not tell you? He transferred out? When I said those words, Shion got upset. Yeah, where's the body, Rena? So I answered her with the same words Shion had given me. Transferred? Who told you something like that? Huh? I'd only just intended to borrow Shion's words, but I said it exactly the same way she had, right down to the thorns in my voice. When I realized what I had done, I immediately tried to soften my remark. If he really transferred, then there would be records of the school and stuff, right? But is there actually anything like that? Mion and Rena, their eyes grew wide. They were at a loss for words. I started to feel like I was doing something really bad. I thought they were only hiding the fact that Satoko's older brother ran away out of consideration for her. I'm not trying to blame you or anything, okay? I just want to ask what happened to Satoshi, that's all. I wasn't trying to blame them. The fact that I had to remind them even looked like I was tormenting them with an impossible question. No, maybe I was actually bullying them. Maybe I lashed out at them in retaliation for Shion getting mad at me. The whole day had been so much fun, but now... Why did I have to go and say something that made all of this meaningless? I couldn't help but forget my own careless curiosity. That's enough. Let's drop it now. As I was about to say that, Mion spoke up. Well, it's not like we're hiding it or lying. I hope you understand that's not what we're trying to do. Mion's tone conveyed her genuine awkwardness. It sounds like the excuse of a child who has been presented with an evidence of her own mischief. Satoshi, well, you didn't transfer schools, Mion said, resigning herself. But I feel bad for pushing her to say that. So, it's okay, Mion. Let's stop talking about Satoshi. Sorry for teasing you. I wanted to apologize. But right before that... He won't come back. What? Unlike Mion's stammered reply, Rana was extremely clear and resolute. He won't come back. What? He won't come back home. Ever since that day. He won't come back. That was a very strange way of putting it. Normally, when you said he hadn't come back yet. At least I thought you'd only say it like Rana did if he wasn't capable of coming back. You wouldn't say it like you were talking about someone who ran away from home. What do you mean he won't come back? Where did Satoshi go? Don't know. Rena's word choice felt very cold to me. So cold that I couldn't muster a response right away. Well, she's right. After that day, Satoshi hasn't returned home. I noticed the deadlock between us and hurriedly followed up with what Rena had said. Well, that's it. Everyone in the village searched for him, and we even got the police to help us look. And well, they started thinking that maybe he ran away. Maybe he ran away. When running away from home, I thought there was supposed to be a note or something. So when Satoshi ran away, we probably left some kind of letter apology to Satoko, and that's kind of what I had figured. But from the way Mion was talking, it seemed a little different than just running away from home. Police did an investigation. Satoshi had been earning money at a part-time job and had put some aside, and they later learned the day he vanished, he withdrew it all. And then at the Nagoya station or something, they spotted someone who looked a lot like Satoshi. He withdrew all his savings fund to escape from home. Was that it? Seemed consistent enough to me. But before I could say anything... I think that's a lie. Satoshi-kun didn't run away, declared Rana shortly. Hey, wait. So if he didn't transfer schools, or moved away, and he didn't run away from home, then what on earth? Stop it, Rena. Mion whispered to her. Rena, however, continued without interruption. And then she said this. Because it was Oyashiro-sama's curse. Huh? A curse? It took some time before I understood what Rena meant by that. Mion clicked her tongue and shook her head a little. So she talked to me before he disappeared. Said something was watching him. Stalking him. They even followed him home. Told me that when he went to bed, they were standing there at his bedside, looking down at him. Stop it, Rena. It's important of Oyashiro-sama's curse, there's no doubt. I think somewhere deep down, Satoshi-kun was probably thinking about abandoning Hinamizawa and running away. And Oyashiro-sama wouldn't allow that. I said stop it. Oyashiro-sama is the guardian deity of Hinamizawa. He would never allow anyone to abandon Hinamizawa and run away. I apologized for it, but Satoshi-kun probably didn't. It must have been Oyashiro-sama's curse! Oyashiro-sama's curse. I hadn't intended to repeat it, but the words came out of my mouth anyway. Oyashiro-sama's curse. Police may have said he ran away, but I don't believe it. I won't believe it. Not ever. It's just a lie told by the self-important people in the village who don't want to admit it was the curse. And whether or not you believe in Oyashiro-sama's curse, it's... Ma'am. Mion struck Rena in the head. And not in a joking way either. I told you to give it a rest, didn't I? Try to be nice, but you're pushing me to my limits. Pushing her to limits. Actually, there was plenty of displeasure and anger in Mion's face at that moment. For a few moments after being hit, Rena looked astonished. Perhaps the voices of the Higurashi calmed her frantic mind, because after a little while, she regained her original calm expression. We arrived at the place we had split up with Mion. No one said a word until we got there. The voices of the buzzing Higurashi just tortured our ears with their buzzing. I'll get to your compliments in a minute. And I'll also give you a smooch in a minute. Because I'm pretty sure we're almost done with the chapter. ... We'd always split up with Mion here, leaving just Rena and me. Hey, Kei-chan. Didn't I promise to lend you some manga? Want to come over real quick? Huh? She promised that? However, I quickly realized that it was a convenient way of saying she wanted to talk to me alone. Oh, I see. Okay, then Rena will go home. Maybe she realized it, maybe she didn't. Thankfully, Rena quickly said she'd go home before us. Bye, Rena. See you tomorrow. Yep, see you tomorrow. H-kun, don't be too much of a bother now. It's already evening. I'm just going to borrow a few books. See ya. Considering the fun day we had, it was very inspiring. Insipid, lonely parting. Hey, don't worry too much about before. After a little while, Mion finally spoke. Quite some time had passed since splitting up with Rena. No, I'm not, really. I think it was my fault anyway. We weren't trying to hide anything about Satoshi. It's just one of those things that we shouldn't mention, you know? At this point, I understood exactly what she meant by that. Judging by our odd interactions with Rena, I understood so well it hurt. I should never talk about it again. Actually, if that's the case, then Shion too. No, this is a bigger problem. Talking about it in the first place had been indiscreet. I shouldn't have ever been interested in it at all. Well, I mean, you could have been interested in it, because that's still what happened to your friend's older brother. That is an understandable, yeah, what happened here. But that's why I really had to think about it. About why everyone got so irritated. Idiot, stop this, Keiji Maebara. By the time I tried to warn myself, I had already accidentally spoken. The filter between your brain and your mouth is not very strong. I won't ask ever again. So could you tell me honestly? What on earth happened to Satoshi? He ran away, right? For a long time, Mion remained silent, but finally unable to endure it any longer, she began to speak timidly. Have you ever heard about Oyashiro-sama's curse? Just a little bit. I got the gist of it. I only overheard someone in class talking about it, though. Oyashiro-sama was the name of the deity protecting Hinamizawa that they worshipped at the shrine we had the barbecue today. And a few years ago, when they started talking about flooding Hinamizawa as part of a dam project, one of the people working on the site died or something, and people blamed it on Oyashiro-sama's curse. That's how it was. Satoshi's parents died. They were proponents of the dam project. Or, Satoshi's dead parents, they were proponents of the dam project. Huh? Wasn't everyone in the village against it? Why wouldn't they support the project if they lived here? Or why would they support the project if they lived here? The dam project that would flood the entirety of Hinamizawa. I'd heard the village all got together to fight the terrible project, but that was a little hard to believe that there were villagers who were supporting it. Well, there was a lot of stuff going on, but not everyone agreed to stand up to the dam proposal. Satoshi's parents were basically the leaders of those who were all for it. Yeah, that's why there is a big difference between how Rika is treated and how Satoko is treated. Anywho, compliments for Weedy, who is a sweetie and is just a lovely person who is a lot of fun to hang out with and is always sending me silly things and is just overall just a really, really good guy. And I'm so glad I met you. And, mwah. And then there's Zerk, who is also somebody that I'm really glad that I met, who is also very nice and just so supportive. Just what? You both are just really great people that I'm glad to have in my life. So, mwah. Leaders of the ones for it, Satoko and Satoshi's parents. Yeah, the government had gathered a lot of compensation money in exchange for the construction of the dam. There were plenty of people who agreed with the proposal because they wanted the money, which, I mean, would make sense depending on how well off or not they were. Maybe it was easier to say, yeah, let's take the money and move. Aside from a few households, Hinamazawa was, in general, not very affluent. Okay. And not because they were proud to inherit the land of and not because they were proud to inherit the land of their ancestors. Wouldn't be strange if some people wanted enough money to start a new life. Aw, thank you, Zerk. But even in that case, they wouldn't have. But even in that case, they would have had to hesitate to say so, given the situation. It just happened to be Satoko and Satoshi's parents who understood that and stood up to be their representative. Bleh. By that standard, you might say Satoko and Satoshi's parents were very heroic. Not according to this town. They volunteered to be hated, all to help those without much money who didn't have a voice. And it goes down to their children. And then their parents had bad luck. They died in an accident on the day of the festival honoring Oyashiro-sama. So people started to think that maybe it had been Oyashiro-sama's curse. I thought back to what the coach had told me today. They went to a nature park on a family outing and fell from a cliff. So people thought even Satoshi running away from home was because of Oyashiro-sama's curse. Well, yeah, basically. It was a bit of an evasive reply, but I felt like it was wrong to ask any further, so I didn't press her for any details. I didn't think I needed to explain this, but for Satoko, her parents' accident, and Satoshi running away, and all the business about Oyashiro-sama's curse, yeah, that's probably very traumatic for her. None of it is a very happy story, you know? Yeah, of course I know. I could only nod silently. That's why we're not mentioning anything about Satoko's family. Even if someone asks about Satoshi, we just lie and said he transferred schools. You can understand why, right? But here's the thing, is Satoko okay with that? They wanted to protect Satoko's happiness, her smile. As someone who thought that way once, even for a short time, I really did regret having been impudent enough to broach the topic to begin with. Yeah, I get it. I'm sorry I asked something so careless. She heard that, Mion smiled, seemingly a little relieved. With that understanding, thinking that I should get going, I began to make my way home. I could really have stopped by Mion's house, but it was already late. I'd stop by again the next time I had a chance. Do we believe that it's going to be in this arc? No. Bye then, Mion. Sorry about today. See you tomorrow. Yeah. Goodbye. We waved at each other. Then suddenly remembering something, Mion called out to me. Hey, John. One more thing. Not only around Satoko. Could you keep quiet about Satoshi with Rana too? Huh? I think you realized earlier, but for some reason, when it comes to Yashiro-sama's curse, she gets extremely serious. Ever since she's transferred here. Yeah, judging by how Rena was acting earlier, it was clearly no laughing matter to her. Mion had interrupted the conversation for us. But if Mion hadn't been there, what might have happened? Why would Rena be so serious about it? We'll find out in the next arc! Not only Rena either, but Shion too. I don't know. Rena is, oh, this is a secret, okay? If you tell anyone, we're not friends anymore. Mion emphasized as her expression clouded even further. I won't tell. What's this about Rena? She says she's been a victim of Yashiro-sama's curse before. Huh? Well, it may sound mean, but I think it might be a bad case of persecution complex or some kind of wrong assumption. But she says so herself, so I believe her. If I poke fun at it, she gets pretty upset. Rena jokes around all the time. But she's really scary when she's mad. Boy, howdy is she! I get it. Don't talk about it in front of Rena, right? About Satoshi. Yeah. If possible, I think we shouldn't talk about this ever again. We're gonna bury our problems under the rug. For her sake. And for Satoko's. For everyone else's, too. And if I must say, for your own sake too, Kei-chan. Her silence, Mion made sure I knew that. Yeah. Okay. I get it. All the problems go under the rug. Yeah, thanks. Saying only that, she waved her hand and began walking away. I watched her go, a little dazed, and started walking myself. Soko's older brother, Satoshi. Had he run away from home? Or had he been a victim of the curse and disappeared forever? Whichever the case, none of this was anything I should have asked about. The cooling air forced me into self-reflection. I wanted Satoko to smile. Yet my curiosity easily defeated me. And I frivolously tried to step into the dark side of things in a joking way. I'm shameful. I wanted today to be exactly like yesterday. I wanted tomorrow to be as fun as today too, except for the part when I stepped in it. So why did I go and do something like that? We were having a blast at the baseball game yesterday. And today we had a blast at the big barbecue party too. It was a lot of fun. But then I went and almost nullified all of those fun times. I would have to be more careful starting tomorrow. Nope, I think you've already stepped in it, my guy. I would put all the unpleasant stuff behind me forever. Like hell, I'm gonna let my enjoyable life end because of how careless I was today. Oh boy, howdy. But the more I thought about it, the more I'd be careful starting tomorrow. The more I couldn't get rid of the ominous thought that I had already put those enjoyable days put an end to those enjoyable days with what I had just done. Yep, we are going to be changing the PNG starting after the end of this chapter because I think we are in for it. Hey, wait. Calm down, Keiichi Maribara. Years of Destiny are freaking gigantic, aren't they? Interesting you would mention that. What happened just now was trivial. Okay. It doesn't make any sense to think my life could be totally different starting tomorrow. Oh boy, you don't remember what series you're in. But even though I understood it logically, the mist in my heart wasn't going to fade until tomorrow turned out to be as fun as today. I'm acting weird. I'm thinking a little too much about the conversation. I wish tomorrow would come already. I wanted it to make me understand how absurd my insignificant doubts really were. The night was long. Then it's what Nagashi time. Okay, there are 3 tips, so we'll go through the tips and then I'll probably call it. Sorry to have it be a little bit have it be a little bit shorter than usual, but it's like we've reached the end of the chapter, so that's all right. The slacking manager. Hyun-san, why don't you help out a little? No. Are you asking a girl to carry something heavy? Is this why you haven't still found a nice lady at your age, Coach? Well, you see, at times like this, here's what people say. It's none of your business. Aha. He was loading up the station wagon with heaps of equipment we'd use for today's barbecue meeting. All the fathers and sons who had helped us were starting to get on their way. All right. So, Shion-san, why did you come all the way here? If you rode here on your bike, I can give you a lift. I did, but I'll be fine riding back. I appreciate your consideration. I was glad you came today. Things don't quite fit together without the manager here. Am I still the manager? I've been shirking my duty for an entire year, so maybe you should just fire such an incompetent manager already. All right. If you say so, if you say you want to quit, then I'll fire you whenever you want. That's not fair. Let me go soon, please. Every time I don't show up at a game, I get an annoying phone call, and I can't stand those. If you were more honest with yourself, Shion-chan, you'd be far cuter. Her father is so sad. Where did he go so wrong as to deserve such a rebellious daughter? Or perhaps, if your father catches you in a big loving embrace, you'll open your eyes. Well then, don't mind if sir. Here! Coach was pulling around with all his might, but Shion just smiled in the distance without responding. Nothing's changed. You're still weird, Coach, and everyone's still as lively as ever. Even though Satoshi-kun isn't here. Is that what you wanted to say? He'll come home. I'm sure of it. He has someone waiting for him. Say whatever you want. He sure is cruel, isn't he? Going off to who knows where, leaving such a cute girlfriend behind. Huh? Girlfriend? Who? Huh? Jeez, quit laughing already. Coach! Ha ha. Ha 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 ha. Coach bent over and heartily laughed for a little while. We'll see each other again. Please continue to root for us. Come and root for us for once in a while, okay? If I feel like it. I have no desire to be the manager anymore, after all. That's fine. If you don't like it, then I'll fire you. I'm not the kind of person who likes forcing people to do things against their will. Okay, fine. I'm sorry. You win this round. If I feel like it, I'll come root for you, so for today, just be patient. Whoops, it's that time already? It's past time to return all this. I'm already making them wait for me. I'll be leaving today, then. Let's meet again in the next game. Yeah, if I feel like it. Goodbye, Coach. So, interesting revelations there. While they're not dating, Shion very clearly cares about Satoshi. And basically the entire reason she became the manager was to help him out. And so the fact that he has disappeared has left her desire to have anything to do with the remaining baseball team is just like, nah. But yeah, he has 2 people waiting for him to come back. It's Satoko and Shion. Of course, Satoko doesn't really know that Shion likes her brother as much as she does. Which will cause problems later. Because nobody in this series is very good about communicating their feelings. Alright. Copy of the preliminary autopsy for probably the parents. The autopsy suggests the victim was killed in the following manner. Entire body bound and restrained. Okay, this is somebody different. Traces left behind from the body seem to have been bound to indicate usage of a specific restraining table rather than ropes in the common method. Finger joints on either hand appeared to have been slightly bound as tightly. Highly likely that the table was neither specially made or homemade, given this information. Okay, so the conversation about the bondage horse might have actually been relevant. Amazing. Both ears and nose were severed with a sharp blade. Okay, content warning. Traces of restraint and other things seem to suggest that there was at least one more other than to serve the body, these parts holding down the victim's head. Possible that multiple blades were used, with one of them most likely being scissors or shears. 5 nails penetrated fingers on each hand. 1 long nail stuck in each joint of each finger on each hand, total of 30. The deceased fingers were nailed to the wooden planks, 20 square centimeters large, exactly like those planks that were part of their restraining table. In addition, it's likely the table was originally designed for such a purpose. Abdomen incised, intestines removed. The incision in the abdomen was a technique grounded in medical methodology used blade. Estimated that there was still no threat to the victim's life at this stage. After this, the organs inside the incision were dismantled and removed. The victim likely died as a result of this process. Whose body is this? Body disposed. After fastening with a dumbbell the victim's neck using a commercial pet collar, the victim was likely abandoned in the Oji River. Oh, this is the body from the prologue. Judging from the dumbbell's weight, it's highly possible that they wouldn't need at least 3 grown men to dispose of the body. Like I believe it was a woman in the drain in the prologue of this chapter. Oishi-san. Here's a copy of the preliminary autopsy with the slaughtered corpse in the Oji River. Chief Shigehara is having a possible relation to the S group. What are your thoughts, Oishi-san? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that whole body thing is a red herring. East round 3. Hi, Oishi-san. There it is, Ron. There's 3 Chun, 3 Dora, margin with 1,500 extra. What? What's up with that? How do you have 3 Dora? You idiot. You're the one who flipped over another Condoro when you knew Oishi-san was in Tenpai. That's what you get. Getting more Dora was the only thing I could do after revealing the Chun. You can't discard a Dora tile after a Yakuhai is out. I know nothing about Go. She grinned menacingly at his buddies, swearing, beginning to break down the walls and reforming them. By the way, Oishi-san, figured it out yet? What? Oh, the murdered body in the drainage channel? Yes, that one. Any new clues come up? Yes, well, you're the one collecting the evidence here. I should have expected that. Who's the deceased? Okay. Rina Mamiya. She'll come back later. Actual name, Noriko. Apparently she worked at the Blue Mermaid, a hostess bar on the Shishibone Flower Road. Oh wow, that place, huh? The young leader of the Sonozaki owns it, yeah? Sonozaki, whoops. So it's related to the S group. Ah, okay. So that's what S group is. So that mountain is that mountain will be tough to scale. Rumors say it's the deceased had her hands in both drug dealings and the money paid for the government. And on a pretty significant scale, too, from what I've heard. Woman getting her hands on Yakuza tax money. Oh no. Sounds like a man's behind it. Uh-huh. Not a lot of women do that sort of thing themselves. Well, she's dead now. The dead can't have anything to do with it. About that, Oishi-san. Her man's apparently alive. Alive? Then maybe he'll die soon. Vermin usually do exterminate other vermin. I think we have a very nice self-cleansing system going on. Anyway, her man. It's Teppei Hojo. Hojo? Who's that? Teppei Hojo? The husband of the housewife who was beaten to death last year in Hinamizawa? I heard he disappeared after the incident, though. I get it, he was staying at his lover's place, huh? And so the Sonozaki grew even more suspicious. Where is he now? He's living in a woman's apartment. Must have thought she abandoned him, so he's been searching around the shops and other gathering places. Yeah, we're changing the PNG. Because, for those of you that don't know, a big part of Satoko's story is, physical and mental child abuse. So it's going to get a little rough. Along with, all the murder and mayhem that usually happens in Higurashi. Okay, end of chapter 4. So, the fact that he is coming back, is a big indicator. And again, why I'm not exactly happy with, some of the plot choices in, the sequel series. Because they try to redeem him a little bit. And I'm like, no. I'm sorry. You made 2 children's lives miserable. You do not get redemption. Anyway. This is where we're gonna call it. Okay, that's... I'm a little under 2 hours. That's not too bad. Yep, so we'll quit. And we'll go to the ending screen. Yeah, basically. Yeah, if we're talking about Satoko's happiness, it's not going to be a happy time from her going forward. Okay, let's see. So yeah, just a fair warning. If that content gets a little rough for people, that is where the arc is headed. But for now, let's figure out who to raid. Well, thank you all for coming. I really appreciate it. Let's see. Who is going right now? You know what? It's Katsuo's birthday, or close enough too. So we're gonna raid Katsuo. And we're gonna call it... I really should just make commands for these. I'll do that later. If you have the emote, go ahead and use it. But if not, no worries. But yeah, I will send you all over now. And I hope you all have a nice rest of your day. There we go. Have fun.